As of right now, I'm sticking with my mainly just two social media platforms. You can find me under Elle Fesky at Instagram and Facebook. I also have my Facebook page as well.
Look, the biggest podcast where you can learn them lessons. Line for line where you can learn from different sections. Made it out the mud, come tell your story, blessings. Never know who listening, never know who stressing. Devon gave you a voice, come speak your honest truth. Line for line, go bar for bar, it's up to you. Wanna talk sports, gov, and politics? Wanna talk about where you from and your accomplishments? Then Line for Line is really where you need to be. A platform that's really made for folks like you and me. You can find it all no matter what you seek. Whether you calling or you listening, tune in every week.
And just like that, we are back with another episode of Line for Line. I have a very special guest in the building today. I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself to the world.
So, hi, my name is Elle Fesky. I am a digital artist and have been for 9 months now.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes,
How was your
thank you.
day today, ma'am?
Very good, very good. Made some preparations so I can be here today, and
Yeah.
it's very awesome to be here.
How was that weather treating you today?
Warm. Interestingly warm.
Yeah, it was a surprise for December, right? For
Yeah,
the
no
middle of
kidding.
December.
What are the consequences of having warm weather in,
That just means we're going to have a longer, colder,
yeah.
frozen winter. That's all that means, seriously. So before we get started, just tell the people a little bit about you, maybe where you grew up, some of your hobbies growing up, and what you're interested in nowadays.
So I was born in Elgin, Illinois. Since I was 5, I was in Rosemont. And my parents and I got our first house here in Kenosha back in the mid-90s. And I've been here ever since.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of what I do is, obviously I've grown to be a digital artist. Didn't start off that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you have to actually clarify that these days. Kids get started, where they want to draw and they start off digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my day, I, started off just sketching in class and it kind of grew on from there, and I used to see these images online, with social media growing and stuff, and just how creative people were getting with digital art, and it was always just something like, wow, that came like right out of a magazine, and it was always really inspiring to me, and like, wow, I wonder if I'll be able to do that,
Yeah.
and it was always just kind of set in the background, whether it was, a financial reason or a school reason, family reason. It was something that I never actually did. I took a 12-year break from drawing completely.
Wow, 12 years.
12 years. 12 years plus, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Life just kind of caught up to me, It wasn't more or less like I had to refine myself, but it was more or less like I'm too busy. I'm too busy, I don't have time. I have all this stuff going on, I can't sit down and draw. And, my advice to people out there that, have a hobby or, something that they have always wanted to do it. Just like riding a bike or, working out or starting, to eat healthier. You take a portion of your time just as you would taking a shower, brushing your teeth. You find those times in the day to get those things done, right?
And of course.
Start off 20 minutes a day doing something that you love. It doesn't matter what it is. If I can do it, and as corny as you may think that is, everybody says, oh, if I can do it, you can do it. Believe me.
Yeah.
If I can do it, you can. But that was some advice that was given to me as far as like, how come you don't draw anymore? And I guess I really didn't have an answer. And earlier this year, I just was like, you know what? The digital art thing is something that just came back around that I've always just set off to the side. You know what? I'm older now and I have the ability to take control of that, and I did. I took, funds that I had and pushed for it, and now I've already, what I've put into it so far, I've already made back, and it's just kind of moving forward from there. And to be at this point now, even 9 months in, the people that I've met and have able to, collab with, and just meeting people in the art community, in the content community. It is so, people have been so generous and kind, and it's just been such an awesome journey so far. And I look back, from the years of just, doing nothing, thinking, no, it's never gonna, it's just, it was just a hobby, it's not gonna come of anything. And then to be where I am now, it's just like, it's insane.
Now, what would you say were some things that you kept telling yourself when you were on your hiatus to get yourself back into it?
Just do it.
Just do it, huh?
Just do it.
Did you spend a lot of nights looking at your previous work and was like, you know what? I'm really good at this. I need to get back to it and stop playing around.
I had nothing.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
You sold it, gave it away?
All the years that I've accumulated art, whether it was because of a move or just simply just lost, or if it got accidentally thrown away, I have maybe some things from previous phones that I've hung on to over the years that were literally taking a picture of and scanning it in and just being not with the times, I guess. But I had nothing to look back on. And I guess in a way it's good moving forward instead of hanging on to something. When I draw something, it's more or less a reminder of where you were in that moment. I've came a long way.
Yeah.
And being only 29, I had to grow up fast at a young age. I took care of my mother at a really young age, as early as 7 years old. And so my childhood years were very seldom, but I learned a lot from that. So hanging on to all that stuff of me drawing and literally putting pictures in the window of an ER room so that I could brighten up a nurse's day as they walked by, I had nothing of that anymore. And in a way, it wasn't intimidating for me to start off with nothing. And in a way, I was able to take that and start a new beginning.
Nice.
I've watched a lot of just content that's been out there on YouTube that other content creators have been so generous to share as to how to exactly get started. I didn't think digital art was really going to be that complicated. I had no idea what I was walking into.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot just as far as the programming that I use and how to manipulate it and really turn it into something that you can be comfortable with, aside from just what I'm used to, a pencil and paper.
That was going to be my next question. How often do you find yourself drawing where you're using a pen and paper or a pencil, whatever the case may be?
And not as often as I probably should.
Yeah.
There's nothing like having that texture of a pencil or paper. It just has something to do with that connection, I guess, that you just will never find working digitally. I think that's why I'm able to do so well digitally, is because I started off with the rock and the pin and the hammer back in my day. But
your day, you're 40 years old, you're only 29, so your day. Now, how difficult is it to draw digitally versus the old school method with paper? Which is more difficult?
Each to their own. Each is its own craft, honestly. In ways, if you're working with pencil and paper, the paper only allows you to make so many errors before the paper starts to, fray and get damaged. So that is a really, strict, criticizing of, hey, you only have these many times for errors before you have to move on and whatever. So in a way, it limits you. As far as digitally, you can hit that undo button as many times, 100 times, sometimes even for just one line.
Yeah.
So digital art is very forgiving. However, to manipulate the program into, you want to have your illuminating, with light and able to manipulate, a line into something more, or color or shadowing. There's layers that you apply to get your effects. So there's a lot to learn from each of them equally. But I would definitely advise anybody that was ever interested in getting into just art in general. To definitely stick with, just a regular sketchbook, nothing fancy. I've even seen content out there where it's like, oh, I use this, this notebook and this pencil, and really, honestly, I've used copy paper and a number 2 pencil.
Oh wow.
Yep, as simple as that, even just to get started. And once you start getting more comfortable with those materials, then move on to those more highly graded paper and pencils that you use.
Now, for those listeners and viewers at home, where can they go about finding you and your creation in case they want to connect with you and get some work done for themselves?
Absolutely. As of right now, I'm sticking with my mainly just 2 social media platforms. You can find me under Elle Fesky at Instagram and Facebook. I also have my Facebook page as well. Yeah.
And can you spell that? Because you said Elle Fesky. What if they just look at the
yeah.
literal letter L?
No, it's ELL Fesky, FESKY.
All right, just making sure they got it. Now, I heard you say that you do watch different content creators. What are some type of content creators that you are interested in viewing, being a creator yourself?
Sam Does Arts has been a very inspiring content creator for me. You might even see a little bit of him in my studies as of recently.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he's able to simplify and really make contrast between a lighting and like a shading. Some very, very beautiful work that he has created that has really helped me manipulate the program for how I see it. And excellent. He has a Patreon as well that I would love to be able to subscribe to because of just how much information that he's going to give to just the average viewer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the main ones that I've been focusing on that has helped me, and then just the variety of other content that I found on YouTube. If I have a specific like a specific thing that I'm trying to do, then I just look it up.
Yes, ma'am. Now, before we get ready to close up this episode, what would be a piece of advice that you can give to the next content creator who may quit and they need that motivation to get back started on what they love doing?
Everyone that you see on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook and they're creating content, we all have lives. We're all just individuals trying to, make a better place for ourselves and those around us. If it was any advice that I could give is you are no different than they are. You can do it too.
Yes, ma'am.
And with everything that I've been through, and if only you knew, if only anybody knew, that is not anything against you. That does not hold you to who you are. And as long as you just are determined and you're willing to put anything that's distracting you aside and you have a goal and a focus and a mindset for what you want to do, there is nothing stopping you other than you.
Yes, ma'am. That being said, that was a high note right there before we close out on Live Flying. We appreciate you for coming, Elle.
Thank you so much.
Is there anyone that you would like to shout out that may be supporting you, maybe watching this?
I'd have to say Todd Bass with Oddities. He's a very amazing guy. He definitely has a different view on creativity, and I wish him the best as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.